afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens, Deputy Commissioner of Operations with the Pennsylvania State Police. With me here this afternoon is Major William Maitland, Pennsylvania State Police Area 1 Commander. To recap, Michael Charles Burham, 34 years of age, was in Warren County Jail on a $1 million bail for kidnapping, burglary, and related charges. During the late hours of Thursday, July 6th, Burham escaped from the Warren County Jail. Burham is a self-taught survivalist with military reserve experience. We believe he is prepared to survive in the woods. As previously reported, our searches have revealed small stockpiles or campsites in wooded areas. As people hike or otherwise spend time in the woods this weekend and beyond, we ask that they notify us if they find any stored packages or apparently abandoned campsites. I continue to ask residents of northwestern Pennsylvania and western New York to regularly review their doorbell and surveillance camera footage for anything they think might be helpful to the search. The response to this request has been very helpful, both in identifying possible sightings and in ruling others out. As an update, yesterday I played a video here and it was carried by the media. We received several other tips that are still being vetted, but we can now also say with relative certainty that thanks to the public response from that airing, the individual depicted in that video is not Burham. We still have strong reason to believe he is in the area, but we now know not to rely solely on that particular video as we attempt to determine his physical condition or other things that we might from any particular video. We continue to ask that people nationwide familiarize themselves with the picture of Michael Burham, and please contact us if you believe you may have seen him. I also renew my request that residents check the area around their homes to make sure vehicles, sheds, their homes, and anything that might be useful to Burham is secured as well as possible. He is no doubt becoming more desperate and will attempt to acquire the things he needs to survive. We ask that people in this area, either residents or visitors, pay particular attention to small items they may discover missing: a tarp, a blanket, clothing items, lighters or matches, food, etc., from their campsite, storage sheds, and garages. During the past 24 hours, we have received several tips in and around the Warren area that have resulted in wooded searches, dog tracks, or clearing of structures. At least one was promising, but none have been conclusive at this point. I reiterate that Burham is to be considered armed and dangerous. We ask the public, please do not approach him. The public is reminded that a reward totaling up to $22,000 has been offered by the United States Marshals and Crime Stoppers for information leading to the apprehension of Michael Burham. We continue to conduct a very active investigation utilizing in excess of 200 state, federal, and local law enforcement officers and significant technological resources. At this time, we are not recommending cancellation of outdoor activities. We ask that if you encounter police activity in any particular area, you simply keep your distance and allow law enforcement teams to do their jobs. Anyone with information or concerns is asked to contact our command post. The tip line is 717-265-9650. Finally, I'd like to thank the media for their continued support with the flow of information to the public as we go into the second week of this search. It is critical that the public has access to factual information, and we welcome the opportunity to address rumors or concerns that may surface. And with that, I would be happy to take any questions you might have.
What changed in the last 24 hours regarding the video that now you say it's not him?
We actually had someone come forward. That's why I said we're appreciative of the fact that it was aired. We had someone come forward and assist us with identifying the person that it likely is. And while we can't say 100%, I no longer believe that that video is likely Burham. We do have, as I mentioned, other information though that that video was used in conjunction with, but we had other information that he was in the area where that video occurred, and we do still believe that information is accurate. But it was helpful to us because we analyze every piece of information, and if we know that something is no longer, in this case, a video of him, it doesn't factor into our assessment.
Are there any other video doorbell recordings that you've seen that may be him in the video?
We have some other recordings. There aren't There aren't any that I would say that we have concluded they are absolutely him. Like I say, this one, we were a little, we believed a little more in it because of the other information we had from that area. Some of the others, we don't have some of the same supporting information, and they're just too grainy, too distant, whatever, for us to draw that conclusion.
Yesterday in the doorbell video, you said that he possibly has a limp. Do you still believe he does, or that completely eliminates it?
No, I still believe that that is likely something that he is suffering from.
Can you give us any updates on the investigation into the possibility he may have had some inside help at the jail to escape?
The jail investigation is being conducted by the City Police Department along with the District Attorney's Office, and so I'm not in a position to comment on their investigation. I anticipate that in the not-too-distant future, they will have concluded that investigation, and we'll have a better idea of the results of that. I will tell you that our investigators are regularly in contact with them. We have done our own interviews, but again, our focus is on collecting information that would assist us in the capture of Burham, and our focus is not necessarily the mechanics of the escape.
Are your teams discouraged at all that it's been taking so long to find him?
No, not at all. I would say that morale is very high. We've been down this road before, and our people know that it sometimes takes time to find somebody. It's a vast area, very difficult terrain, but you know, the troopers, the marshals, the border patrol people, any number of our partners that are out there, I will tell you that I'm very pleased with the way morale is and the spirit with which they go out every day or every night. It's certainly a round-the-clock operation, and we have volunteers, in addition to the people that we've got assigned to it, we have volunteers from those departments asking, you know, to come in and assist with this. So.
2 weeks in, do you think you're, you know, how would you rate this? Do you think you're any closer to finding him than you were at the beginning of this, the progress?
We know, until you actually capture him, you never quite know. Again, I've been involved in some of these before, some that have been quite lengthy, and you know, you have your ups and downs. Every one of these does, and so at any given point in time, I mean, as recently as last night, there were some significant ups, and you really think you're close, and something doesn't pan out, and we continue on. One of those, whether it's an investigative lead, whether it's a tip, whatever, one of those will pan out, you know, and at that point, we'll know how close we were at any given point in our search and in the investigation. You know, the thing is, there's really a kind of a two-pronged approach to this. So we're certainly looking for the tips and all of that from the public. Those are very helpful. But we don't sit and wait for those tips. And so we have search plans, and those involve the use of our people, those involve the use of the technology, and, you know, we're not sitting waiting for the next tip. We're glad to get it. We will certainly look into it wherever it is, but we're also actively searching for him day and night.
Yesterday you said that the longer this goes on, it actually helps you guys and hurts him. Do you still believe in that philosophy?
I do. Again, having done these before, it is a matter of time. It's a big area. You know, people say, oh, it's a needle in the haystack. Well, we've found needles before. We'll find them again. And, you know, I'm not living in the woods trying to find food or shelter or anything else. He perhaps is. So the search, the time works against him more than it works against us.
You mentioned yesterday you didn't want to get too specific on where that video was taken from because watching it might eliminate a camera that you have access to. On the flip side, if he is watching and he knows that you have access to those cameras, couldn't that restrict the area that he feels comfortable moving in and eliminate a source of supplies and resources?
I don't want to provide him a roadmap of where we believe he is or where we're actively monitoring, and so that's why I don't want to provide him the location if he is able to access this information. I don't want to provide him really a roadmap of where we have people cooperating and would likely provide us that information again should he appear.
He may not be in this area anymore. If you had any assistance to flee somewhere else?
Well, that's certainly something we always consider, and as I've said right from the very start, we look into any investigative lead, we look into any tip, regardless of where it is. We have law enforcement partners around the country that we have referred information to. There are a multitude of interviews that have been done. Again, any follow-up that involves going out of the area or out of state is taken care of immediately. So we never discount that. I have no doubt that if he had the means and he had a place that he wanted to go, that he would try to leave to go there. Our goal is to deny him those means and to capture him if he were to try and make that escape.
Is it fair to say Warren is still kind of the hot spot for this search, and is there any concern he may have crossed into western New York?
Again, we're constantly in communication with the authorities in New York. As a matter of fact, the New York State Police maintain a 24/7 presence in our command post here. So we are on an immediate basis sharing any information. They're conducting some of their own operations over on that side, again, as a proactive measure. And we always take that into account as a possibility. But at this point, I remain and our team remains convinced that he is most likely in this area.
You know, from the video yesterday, you said a lot of good responses, a lot of leads from that. Can you kind of go over that again, the details that you gave us just a minute ago?
Well, when I say that we get leads, so people see something like that video and it makes them think, oh, you know what, maybe I will check my doorbell, my surveillance camera. And so, you know, we got a few tips dealing specifically with video. But we also, I mean, I was here till the wee hours of the morning last night, and there were numerous tips came in of, you know, someone going into the woods rather quickly, or you know, whatever. There was suspicious activity, someone snooping around someone's shed or a four-wheeler and that kind of thing. And so those all get a response in addition to the proactive searches that we're doing. Those all get a response, and we follow it up and then use a variety of techniques to try and determine whether there's any validity to it.
Do you have an update on the drone that you said you've been looking for?
No, as a matter of fact, I just checked with the investigators before I walked over here, and we still have not located the specific drone that we're looking for. As I said yesterday, we are aware that through the course of the day and early evening, that at a couple of locations within a few blocks of the jail, there were some drones being operated, but we have not found the one that we are specifically looking for yet.
Do you have information that, you said most of that about the drone came through interviews. Do you have additional information that corroborated those statements, just to rule out the possibility that perhaps those people were just misremembering the time?
No, I think we're still pretty convinced that that information is accurate. And again, we'll run it into the ground, and we'll either find it or we won't, but we will continue to look to see if we can find any additional information that might assist us.
Have you discovered any more abandoned campsites, any bags? I know that photo was released earlier in the week, anything like that?
We've discovered and searched a number of possible campsites, places where we have found items in the woods. None of those that I would, with any confidence, say had any connection to him, though. Again, I thank you all for helping to keep the public informed. I know that there are a lot of rumors out there. I know there's a lot of concern in the public. I'm appreciative of the fact that we can get a message out there and that we can hear what questions are being asked out there as well, through you and directly